Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kerragen and I'm so glad you joined me here today. So what we've got going on today is a collaboration with Miss Unfortunate and myself. I know we just finished one. That was kind of an intermediate emergency collaboration that we had to do to get something out there real quick for you guys. But this is the serious one, the one that you guys are hopefully anticipating for. I have not stopped talking about it in my comments, and this is the one I'm really excited for. The inspiration for this build is from a movie that came out in 1993. Some of you may or may not know it. It is The Nightmare Before Christmas. Together, we decided that we were going to build Christmas Town. It's a huge project. It took a whole lot of time, and this, as you guys will see, is the reason I've been so stressed and short on time. Is because it took me a very long time to do my part. It's taking Miss Unfortunate a whole lot of effort to do her part as well, and I don't know how she's doing it, you know, so well and so efficiently. I could not have done her side, so I'm glad I was able to help her out, you know. So what we decided to do was to divvy up the work. I took over building Santa Claus's house on top of the hill that overlooks the whole town. I was going to do the exterior and the interior, and although it was an original responsibility that I was supposed to do, I also kind of surprised her, and I just did a train, you know, with some presents outlined with candy canes. That took me a whole hot second. That train just took me a day all by itself. But I'm really glad I did it because I think it turned out great. Miss Unfortunate loved it as well, and I was so excited that she did because it wasn't discussed. I just put it in there. I had a whole lot of fun building the house, and trying to get the shapes right was a little, you know, how do I describe it? It was interesting at first, but it quickly came together. Luckily, it wasn't too terribly difficult. And there is one thing in this entire build where I built it out of, I don't think it was debug, but it's, and I'm not even sure what it's called. I'm sorry guys, I'm just not used to this game and the names of stuff yet. I know where to find it. It's under the fountains, and then you go down and you click on the fish icon, and it's the gray stone slab. I pieced those together until it was kind of this very makeshift skinny bookshelf, and it was perfect for what I wanted because there was a little bit of dead space in Santa's house and I needed a really skinny bookshelf. That's what I envisioned there to be in there. Now, there is a scene in the movie where Santa is going through his list and Lock, Shock, and Barrel have just rung the doorbell, waiting to ensnare Santa Claus in a trash bag, of all things. And that was the only scene that I had to look at the interior. So really what I took from that was kind of the bright colors and especially the wallpaper. Luckily, I found a wallpaper in The Sims that I thought matched his wallpaper pretty well. It's not identical per se, but it's got that, you know, the thin Tim Burtonian lines, and it's not too colorful. It was kind of this dullish gray, grayish kind of green. Not too grayish, but you know, it wasn't like a bright in-your-face green. So I chose it. I hope you like the wallpaper. I do. And also I was able to gain inspiration for the kitchen because Mrs. Claus is in the kitchen. She stacked up 9 pies. She's packing his lunch. So I was wondering, I don't think he eats all those pies in one night. So what I was thinking is maybe Tim Burton thinks that it takes Santa much longer than a night to deliver all those toys, and that would make sense to me. So that's a cool little thing for you guys to think about. I gave him the rows of mailboxes outside, and I had fun using the snow and the landscaping. And this time I got to use the debug hidden lights. I used the red lights just to give it that soft touch of a reddish hue on the outside like it does in the movie. Now, what I used to line the house with the Christmas lights are actually the debug fairies from Realm of Magic. Now, that was gonna take me a lot of time, even though I didn't know it because the fairies didn't quite go small enough to look like, you know, bulbs of light. I thought they were still too big at the smallest setting. So I had to place them at the smallest setting, which took a really long time on its own. And then I had to go back through and I had to highlight all of the fairies. And then I had to bump them down to, I know the number because I did it so many times, I had to bump them down to 0.15 on the scale. And then finally, the outside looked like it was lit up as it is in the movie, I thought. As I was doing the build, I was using techniques such as when Santa was sitting in his chair looking at his list, and when the doorbell rang, he looked up like this at his side door, which we all know he used his side door because that was the door that Jack Skellington saw Santa's shadow out of. So there was a door on the left side, and he answered a less fancy door than his front door for the kids. So he did use that door. So all I knew is he was sitting on the on the front side of his house in his chair looking at that list. The kitchen was to his right, and he looked up and to the left at the doorbell ring. So I was using techniques like that to kind of figure out where his chair was. All I wanted to know was where was the kitchen and where was his living room. I felt like he was sitting in like a den or a living room that was attached to his kitchen. Unfortunately, after I placed his chair, I couldn't stay true to where I thought everything was because it just didn't fit inside. You know, Tim Burton in his movies, he was just, you know, showing a beautiful exterior, then he would show a beautiful interior, and then he would move on with his life, right? He was a director. He was too busy to figure out how everything like fit together perfectly, because how would that matter except for someone like me who's insane and trying to recreate his house, right? So I just learned real quickly to just let that go. So I did. I let that go, and I kept his chair in that original spot, but I moved the kitchen all the way to the left side of the house, and that enabled me to have a much larger kitchen, one that I think at least Mrs. Claus would have much rather preferred to have. Unfortunately, in the early 90s, the height of interior fashion was terrible, absolutely terrible. That was no exception with Santa's house, so the only thing I kept true was the wallpaper and the red chair he was sitting in. It was okay that the interiors were not at their height at that time because I could snazz it up. There's only one room they showed anyway. It let me have much more freedom on the inside, which was great. Sorry if I'm looking to my right all the time. This is where I set up my video this time. I'm trying to get better at doing these recordings so, you know, y'all can be entertained, and I just need to get over my fear of talking to people through the camera. And I'm so thankful that you guys are staying with me. If you stayed with me throughout this time, props to you. You really don't have to do that. Thank you so much, because I'm terrible right now. It's so embarrassing. There's been something going on that I just remembered, is when I put an upload, Miss Unfortunate and I put an upload to the gallery privately or otherwise, and the other person goes to download it, there seems to be some missing items or some things start to break. Like when I gave her my build so she could work on it, my train broke. The wheels weren't on it anymore, and the caboose was broken as well. The candy canes just flew off. Some of them flew off of it and hit the ground, oddly enough, and some of them just disappeared completely. So if there's anything missing in your download, I'm super sorry. We did put those items there. It's just the game's being a little finicky, and who knows, we put down so many items over the past week that maybe the game just can't handle it. Which gives me another thing. I want to warn everybody who wants to download this build. If your computer is going to struggle putting this down, or if you think it can't handle it, I just want to put out a warning there. There's a lot of items that have been put down in here, and my computer is even like heaving to, you know, upload this. So I just want to put that out there. Be careful. I'm sorry. I hope I can put in a good enough tour so I can show off everything for you guys. I'll try to keep it entertaining and fast as possible for you guys. Again, I want to thank you all for staying with me. If you're here to the end, thank you so much. It's so appreciated. And I want you guys to, if you liked my video, I would very much encourage that you go see Miss Unfortunate's video. She built pretty much the rest of Christmas Town. At first I was all like, can you do that? Because I couldn't. That's where I'm coming from this, okay? I could not have built all of Christmas Town by myself. But she did, and she's amazing. She's a super fast builder. I've been watching her build it for a few days now, and it looks fantastic, you guys. I can't wait for you to see it. So if you love my build, please go over to her channel. I will link it down below, and you'll be able to quickly go see hers as well. Miss Unfortunate's Christmas gift this year was literally perfect because she gave me a ghost boarding, a smudging kit. She gave me a smudging kit. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of the name until now. She gave me a smudging kit, and her note said, "Get them ghosties out of your house or it's all for naught." Meredith's mother. Oh, we love quoting Meredith's mother all the time. She always says, "You must project or it's all for naught." I love that mom so much. So anyway, thank you again so much for coming to visit my channel. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I will put the tour in the link down below. Not a link, but like in the details. Sorry. And I believe that's all the time that we have right now, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and get on with the tour. I want to take this moment to, again, thank you for coming by to my channel. Don't forget to check out Miss Unfortunate. You all have a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and a Happy New Year. I'll see you all next week. Bye.